So, um, I actually unboxed everything earlier today to make sure everything had arrived since I was home and the box was small. Um, so no unboxing, just the DVDs that arrived. We got Eyeshield 21, DVD 4. I still haven't watched DVD 3 yet, and I really want to. That may happen soon. The DVD I mentioned last week, Cat Shit 1. So you can see it's about bunnies. I don't pretend to know everything. Good news is Haruhi-chan Part 2 actually arrived. I still haven't watched Part 1. This is an unfortunate one. So this is Chrome Shield Regios Part 2. And what happened here was, both Part 1 and Part 2 were released this week. And I ordered both. But what happened was, at the time I ordered, Amazon didn't have Part 1 in stock. So I went ahead and ordered it from The Right Stuff, who had Part 1 in stock. And then, of course, later in that day, I don't know when, I just checked sometime late in the evening and Part 1 was in stock. But that basically meant Amazon's quicker shipping brought this here before Part 1 is here. So I don't have that to show right now. If The Right Stuff is how they usually are, then Part 1 will probably arrive on Friday. Worst case, Saturday. Don't know for certain. And the other new release for this week that arrived is a Dirty Pair box set too. I still haven't watched the first one. You know, there's just so much anime I have not watched that I want to watch. And you can blame some of it on Pokemon, but, well, to be honest, this isn't everything I got this week. In fact, that just barely starts it. To begin with, I got some inspiration by DVDs people asked me to show inside the box. So I started buying Maison Ikkoku. I think that's the way they pronounced it in a preview or something. So I never knew much about these box sets. As you can see, each box set comes with 3 DVDs. The art style is very clearly Rumiko Takahashi style. These boxes have these paper things on them. All they do is they contain something, information about the box set in it. So that's kind of important to note since, box set 2 I bought used and doesn't have that. Oh well. I think that's okay. I'm not quite sure how high on my priority list watching this is. Part of me doesn't want to start watching it until I get back to Ranma and actually finish that. As you can see, I also got box set 3. Let's actually turn these sideways. It gives me more room to show stuff. Box set 3 has its paper on it. And we have a bunch of people I don't know anything about. In fact, I don't even know what this series is about. I'd say I don't know whether or not it's popular, but the truth of the matter is I've seen some of the prices for the later DVDs, and all I got were these first 4 box sets, because they were the cheap ones that I knew I could pick up impulse buy. I could probably also impulse buy box set 7, but only so much impulse buying at a time, I guess. Let's see. I picked up Spirit of Wonder because I was watching previews on a bunch of DVDs and thought this looked interesting. But of course, you also need to get the Spirit of Wonder Miss China's Ring, which I think is the sequel, the second OVA or something? I don't know. Somebody asked me to show Project Eiko, and so I went ahead and bought all of that. This is the Collector's Series version of the first DVD. So it has the first DVD and it has the soundtrack. And I don't know what to think about the soundtrack yet because I haven't actually seen it. But of course, there's more Project Eiko, Love and Robots, and this should be the last of it, Uncivil Wars. It should be all of Project Eiko. And I also picked up a series called Phantom Quest Corps just because it was, in a local store. I basically stopped at a local store earlier this week, just because, well, I was out and about doing stuff. I also picked up Generator Gawl from there. I don't know much about this. This is a complete collection. There's nothing about the discs worth showing, as far as I can tell, since they're just hard to show anyways. And I also picked up Arc the Lad. They had the first 5 DVDs, actually. So I went ahead and ordered the 6th DVD. And the fun thing about next day shipping is, of course, that arrived, like, almost instantaneously. You may think, is that everything? No, they also had a couple, sitting under. This would be Secret Service and The Motion Picture. They would both appear to be movies, I guess. And then you're like, oh, okay. Is that everything? No, there's also Boys Over Flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and put it all together now. DVD 1, of course, is one that I've already had for a long time. So DVD 2 arrived within the week. DVD 3 arrived last week, if you may recall. And now we have the rest. We've got DVD 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've got a little stickiness to them, is all. 10, which arrived, yesterday. And 11 also arrived yesterday. I think they were delayed because of the snow stuff. And then 12. That would be all of Boys Over Flower, I think. Let's see, this ends at episode 51, Never Ending. I think that's all of it. Now, fortunately, even though I'm saying there's still more to show, there's only really one other thing. I actually bought a manga. I don't buy those very often. Usually they come with DVDs. This would be Alien 9 Emulators, a sequel to Alien 9, and I was kind of curious about it since, I read the Alien 9 manga since the anime was incomplete, and I noticed the price for this one was starting to climb up, so I went ahead and picked it up. So it is maybe kind of unfortunate that next week's release isn't looking that big. I do have a couple of things already on the way. As you've probably guessed, Chrome-Shelled Regios Part 1. But I'm also getting the limited edition version of Hack Sign Volume 6, because that apparently came with a second disc with a .hack episode I have not seen before. I thought I had seen it, but now I'm not so sure. I'm getting that ASAP, because, well, I need to be that complete and thorough, right? Otherwise, I'm worried about next week not being a big release, or a big update, because, so I started collecting Maison Ikkoku, and Box Set 8 is pretty expensive. In fact, I don't think I've ever dropped that much money at once, other than that one time I bought all of Urusei Yatsura, and in that case I did drop a ton of money. But I've been saving money up and preparing to do something like that from the get-go, whereas, oh god, that's high. I'm probably going to have to get Box Set 8 with my next paycheck, just so that I make sure I have that before, so I get that big target out of the way. Oh god. I won't be able to knock many more out. And I'll have to pay rent. So basically that means that I may have to just let whatever new anime come out. Maybe catch up on very little. So small releases, unfortunately, but I'm letting y'all know in advance. So I'd say make it up by asking for a lot of inside the box stuff, except that y'all already do that enough. There's a lot of good stuff out there, right? Maybe y'all could also, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. So, let's find out. I'll see y'all next week.